I hope everybody realizes that ever since the Republicans took control of the House of Representatives 2.5 years ago, we have basically been on borrowed time for funding the federal government. They have not yet, ever, since taking control back in 2022, passed a full years-long budget bill. We've just been on continuing resolutions, we've been on stopgap measures, but we haven't actually had a real budget. And so when Donald Trump came into office, Republicans controlled the entire federal government. They're like, all right, we got to get a real budget. We finally have to actually do our jobs. We can't blame Democrats, even though we'll blame Democrats. So they've been working on what Donald Trump calls the big, beautiful bill because he wants it all packaged up into one. And the primary goal of Republicans, of course, is to extend the tax cuts that they passed in 2017, making them what they call permanent. But I don't think any of them know what the word permanent means because they will also still expire at some point. So that's not permanent. And I wish people would stop using that word to describe what's going on here. But those tax cuts come with a hefty price tag, right? $4.5 trillion over the next 10 years. And that's pissing off some Republicans. Not because they don't want to do it, they totally do. They just understand that, listen, we spent the last 4 years bitching about deficits. So if we had $4.5 trillion to the federal deficit, we're going to look pretty dumb to the voters and they're going to take it out on us in November of 2026. So in order to pass this $4.5 trillion tax cut package, as well as the other trillions that Donald Trump is asking for in additional spending, we're going to have to make some cuts. And that's where the disagreements are coming in. Because right now it is total pandemonium with House Republicans. 32 House Republicans sent a letter this week to Steve Scalise and Speaker Mike Johnson, letting them know that this ain't going to fly. And we will not support it, even if it means we got to vote against Donald Trump's legislative priorities. But we are not going to increase the deficit. The letter also, falsely by the way, says that these tax cuts are actually going to generate $2.5 trillion in economic growth, which history tells us no. And you're a fucking idiot if you think that's going to happen because it's never happened any of the times we've done it, but it'll totally happen this time. No, it won't. You're a moron. So they're not having to find $4.5 trillion of cuts. They're taking that made up figure of $2.5 trillion in economic activity and saying, okay, so that's paid for. So we only have to cut $2 trillion. You have other Republicans that say, nah, don't worry about it. We don't got to cut nothing. Let it go. We got to do whatever Trump wants. And we want that tax cut. Not just for the wealthy donors. We get the tax cut too, guys. We're all rich. So we want it. So there are warring factions of these Republicans in the House right now. Things are boiling over this week with this letter from 32 Republicans. And of course, next week, the budget's going to start going to committees. We're going to have each individual committee, kind of try to pass it, maybe do some markups, maybe make some changes here and there. But things are not looking great for the prospects of getting any kind of budget passed. Because even if they do pass a budget, we're still going to be left with trillions of dollars worth of cuts to food assistance programs, Medicaid, potential cuts to Medicare and Social Security. We're going to look at cuts to education. We're going to see cuts to, performing arts. We're going to see cuts to vital programs to keep elderly people from not dying of heat stroke and hypothermia. It's horrible. But those are the programs that they're going to cut to give themselves and their donors a tax break. They just have to work out the fine print right now. So don't worry, folks. This fight amongst these Republicans will not last much longer. They will eventually find enough poor people to screw over to pay for their tax cuts. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.